Can I just start this off by saying that the more that I do these videos, the more that I appreciate how much work goes into creating YouTube videos, especially like of the beauty genre, because it takes a lot of preparation and it's like getting the right lighting, which I've never achieved, and just like the makeup that actually goes into these videos. Like I'm wearing way more makeup than I would wear IRL, and I'm just like, it doesn't even look like I'm wearing anything. Not really anyways. It's just, it's crazy. It's a lot of preparation and work. So kudos to beauty bloggers. You guys work really hard, and thumbs up. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about travel a little bit and how the family and I prepared for our super long trip last year. So last year we traveled for 5 months. We actually got rid of our apartment. We packed up our entire apartment, subletted it, and put our stuff in storage. Well, the stuff that we had left, we sold a lot of our things, decluttered, like we Marie Kondoed the shit out of our home, literally. And yeah, just like really simplified our lives, and packed up our things for a 5-month trip. And before we left, we didn't even know where we were going. So we knew that we were going to Spain. We weren't sure for how long, and we assumed that we would probably end up in Kuwait, as we normally do, because we have a lot of friends and family that live there. So preparing for the trip was very interesting because, you know, it's like, where are we going? We didn't know exactly what weather we'd be encountering and what exactly we would need. But my general philosophy for packing is less is more, and more is just too much. You've probably heard, you know, that you should pack all your stuff once and then unpack everything and just like take half of what you had initially planned. That's probably true. It's probably better to even do more than half. So I had a medium-sized hard shell suitcase. It's my storage right now, but I don't have the actual dimensions, but it's not a big one. Like one that I could easily like pick up myself if I needed to. Bigger than carry-on, but definitely not one of those giant like trunk of a suitcase. You know, I'm not traveling by boat. It's not 1863. I don't need, you know, 6 puffy dresses and volumes of encyclopedias or whatever people used to pack. I'm not sure. But so I had that, which was one side was my son's stuff, and then I also had a carry-on that was technically the biggest size carry-on that you could have. But yeah, so another suitcase like that also for my son and I. And then my husband just had a pretty large backpack for his stuff. And that was for 5 months, 3 people. So a lot of people would travel with that amount of stuff for 5 days, and we were gone for 5 months. But I really believe that whatever you need for 5 days, it's probably the same as what you would need for 5 months. Okay, I'm just going to actually change the angle of my camera because I realize that you're gonna need to see. Oh no, apparently I can't. Oh, sorry guys, technical things on the fly. Okay, I'm so professional with my videos. Okay, so my philosophy, as I said, is less is more, definitely. And I hope I don't insult anyone by saying this, but whenever I travel, I completely let go of all of my North Americanness. So all of my little creature comforts, or the things that I think I need, I kind of forget about it. I notice that the more that I travel, other cultures, they travel so light, and they're perfectly happy, and they're perfectly prepared for whatever situation, and it's okay. And I'm someone who has anxiety, and I get a lot of anxiety whenever I have a lot of stuff to take care of and lug around, and I don't have like a good back anymore. So it's like, I want to feel like I can just like pick up my kid and pick up my bag and go, you know, and I don't have like 10 million little things to be dealing with. Like, to me, that promotes more anxiety. And I think that when people overpack, what they're trying to do is be prepared that they, you know, whatever situation that they get themselves into, that they've got the right thing, that, you know, they're going to be ready if they're going to go to a fancy restaurant, or if they're going to be whatever. But like, the thing you have to remember is that, like, you're not on Survivor. More likely than not, you're not going you're not going to the Arctic, probably. You're probably going somewhere where the weather is comfortable, where, you know, if you don't need a lot of stuff, either because that's the kind of environment you're in. Like, if you're going somewhere tropical, you don't need a lot of stuff. If the weather's warm, you don't need a lot of stuff. Or you're going somewhere maybe like Europe, where you just need simple basic things, and then anything else that you direly need, you can just purchase there. Like, it's not a big deal, right? So that's what I've learned the more that I've traveled, and it's definitely has made everything easier for me, just sort of having that mentality. And you know, it's not about buying a lot of stuff while you're gone. It's about buying, you know, maybe what you need, and just knowing that your own wits and your own life experiences are going to be what comes in handy, and not just a bunch of crap. Even with a little kid, and you would be shocked how little a child needs to stay perfectly happy, healthy, and having a really good time when the kid's with their parents, right? Like, my son, we brought only a small sack of little toys for him to stay entertained, and then a stack of like little soft covered books for him. And we've traveled twice with him. Once he was 9 months old, and we were gone for 3 months. And then the second time, well, I've traveled more than twice with him, but like 2 really long trips. So a 3-month trip when he was 9 months old, and then the 5-month trip, he was 2.5 to 3 years old. And, you know, we had, for him, so we had a carrier for him, we had his stroller, and, you know, clothes for him. We had his favorite soft toy, a few little toys, so like little cars, little animals, just stuff that he likes, and books. And then he just found a lot of stuff to entertain himself with, which was amazing. I mean, kids love, you know, Tupperware and rocks and sticks, and it was just like a really unplugged version of childhood, you know, on the go. And it was just really refreshing to know that that's possible. Oh, we also brought an iPad for him. I mean, like, we're not like the perfect hippie parents or whatever. So he also had his iPad, and, you know, we do allow him to watch a little bit every day after 5 o'clock and whatever, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, let me get back to, my stuff, in particular, and like what tips that I have. So I did a little bit of preliminary research before delving into this video, and I was watching some YouTubers do their in-flight essentials, and I was laughing because I'm like, wow, that's like more crap than I packed for my entire trip. I mean, do whatever makes you happy, but I just find that less is definitely more, even on the plane. I mean, unless you're doing like a long haul 23-hour flight, like, you don't really need 6 books, you know, 5 hand creams, 3 different masks, like all these toys and things. It's like, you're not a toddler. Like, even my toddler needs less entertainment. Like, honestly, and like all these snacks and all these things, it's like, you're gonna be fed on the plane. No, it's not the best food, like, but I mean, I'm not that picky, and I'm not a like high maintenance traveler. Like, I've really cut out a lot of that because it makes me feel less anxious, and it actually makes me feel better taken care of. Like, I'd rather be the person who's just like, yeah, I'll eat that. Like, I don't care. Oh, okay, it's like high sodium pasta. Yeah, I'll feel bloated, whatever. Like, whenever I land, I'm gonna do my own groceries, and I'm back in control. On the airplane, I'm just like, easy, you know, give me the glass of wine. I'm gonna watch the movies. My kid's gonna be watching movies. Everyone's happy. We're like the happy, easygoing travelers. And, you know, I just feel like lowering your standards and just relaxing is like the best way to go about the in-flight situation. if you're gonna pack some beauty products, definitely an all-purpose balm and maybe like some all-purpose color. So anyways, I'll show you what I brought. Though that would be essential. And also I like bringing an empty bottle of like an empty mister bottle, and then I just put mineral water in it. I missed myself with that. It's missing the humectants, which is helpful on an airplane, but I found that it works really well. Or of course you can just pick up a small mist that does have some humectants in it, which will make your skin feel really good. But also, you know what? If your skin's dehydrated for 24 hours, let your skin reset itself. It's kind of good for your skin in a way. It's like put it through a little bit of stress. You're not gonna fall apart. Okay, so I'll show you. This is my backpack. This was like my carry-on, like my small carry-on item slash my everyday backpack. For the last trip, I chose not to bring my purse. This is my everyday purse. I'll just show you guys this. So it's like a vintage Coach. This is the purse that I wear every day. It's not super big, it's not super heavy or anything, but you know, it is like an asymmetrical thing to wear. And just with my old lady back that I suddenly have, I chose to be more symmetrical with the backpack. And even though it does get heavier during the day, we also had a stroller, and the stroller is such a great travel cheat thing because you can pack. It's free. It's free in the airplane to check it, and it carries so much stuff day to day, and then your kid can just sleep in it, and it's like so easy. I don't know what it's going to be like traveling now that he's not in a stroller anymore, but we'll see. So this is my backpack. I took a long time to choose this. It's the Fjallraven Kanken. I probably said that completely wrong. It's so lightweight, it's so sturdy, and even though the straps look really like dinky and uncomfortable, surprisingly really comfortable. I really enjoyed this backpack. I was like, oh, it's like $80, or it was like 85 Canadian plus tax. I'm like, it's really expensive for such a like kind of cheap seeming bag, but it was actually, I think, a really good investment. And you can like unzip it all the way to the bottom, so you can just pack it in a really nice way. Like if you know, want to like organize it really well, you can do that. And then you can also snap it to a stroller really easily, so it actually makes a really good stroller bag as well. Okay, so inside are a few of my essentials. You're gonna see how much stuff I got in here. You're gonna be pretty impressed. Okay, so back to the purse thing. I'll show you something else. So this is my everyday wallet. It's like a pretty big, you know, this style of wallet, whatever. I don't travel with this. I don't have my travel wallet actually in here. I don't know where it is right now, but I actually just use a little card case, and even like an iPhone or whatever hard case that has like the card storage. I think that would actually be pretty good too, just as a travel wallet. And then we use something separate for our sorry, just dropped something, for our passport and stuff like that, which we keep, well, my husband actually keeps it all like on his body for safety. So a small wallet, because I just like minimizing all this stuff. You don't need all of your cards whenever you travel. You just need a few essentials. Like you don't need all of your club cards to Costco and stuff like that, right? So I just keep it really minimal, just like the essentials, so I'm not lugging that around the world. Okay, so back to what's in my bag. So little mini speaker, really great for in the hotels or in the wherever. Also headphones, which I don't have here. There's a bit of a mix between my electronics, clothing, and other stuff. So this is probably the piece of outerwear that I cannot travel without unless I'm going somewhere tropical. Puffy jacket. So warm. I can wear this in Canada when it's minus 20 degrees Celsius. I can wear this in Europe when it's 5 degrees. Like, it's so good. And they pack, I don't have the packing bag, but tiny. You can pack this into like a purse. It's so little. I'm going like this so it looks giant, but like look at it next to my head. It's not that big. So lightweight, super comfortable. I prefer traveling with a very, very effective, lightweight, windproof, waterproof jacket rather than something heavier, even if it looks a bit more fashionable, because just the weight, like you're walking a lot when you travel, right? So just not having that extra weight. I find really helpful. Of course, if you're traveling for business, like this does not apply. Like you're gonna have different set of rules because you're gonna want to look a certain way, but this is just for you know, traveling with your family or whoever, your friends, seeing the world, that kind of thing. Like you can still look fashionable with a puffy jacket, or my standards have just gotten really low, whatever. So my favorite footwear, also really important that you're staying warm and dry, also important, super comfortable shoes. I'm in my mid-30s, so I'm extremely practical now. But I don't go for like the very fashionable, uncomfortable stuff anymore. Like I go for, you know, fashion sneakers and Birkenstocks, and I just like live in that shit. So whenever we traveled for 5 months, I had 3 pairs of shoes. I ended up buying another pair of shoes too, because I wanted like a pair of, you know, like Spanish shoes. So I brought these guys. These are like they're really kind of beaten up and muddy. I was just in the forest yesterday with them. But New Balance, like kind of, you know, whatever, like the hipster kind of like fashion sneakers. Like I wore these all the time. I'm still wearing them. Like I don't know how they're holding up. They're on their last legs. But yeah, like I wore those all the time. I found they look really cool with jeans and like low socks. Invest in good socks. A few pairs of really good quality sports socks that have like really good arch support and that actually don't, you know, they don't like fall down your ankle. Like they really hold like the structure of your foot is super important. I kind of treat my feet like they're almost going to be running a marathon because we personally, like we walk kilometers and kilometers and kilometers and kilometers every day whenever we're traveling. So it's really important for me that my feet look semi-stylish, but that comfort is really the importance. So that's the important thing. Then of course my favorite Birkenstocks. I can't live without these. This isn't the pair that I actually traveled with. I traveled with a pair, the same thing, they're just gray, that I bought in Kuwait and then wore them in Sri Lanka, and they actually got rusty. And so did my bag, actually. It got rusty in Sri Lanka. I'll show you. I like it though. It looks kind of cool. It's all like oxidized. It turned green. I think it's cool. So those are my shoes. And then I also brought a pair of Chelsea boots. So just like my comfortable kind of beaten in Chelsea boots that I actually bought in Rome. They kind of go with everything. And if I need to be like slightly fancier, I can kind of dress them up. And then my trick for dressing up is just wearing all black, which is kind of what I tend to do anyways. Just all black, slim profile, maybe something a little geometrical or something, and then like a bold lip. And I think you look kind of fancy enough to do whatever. Another staple for me was having just like a nice sarong. So like, of course you would travel with something like this if you were going somewhere tropical, but I found it was really good also in Europe because I can just wear it as a fetching scarf. It was also once an emergency toga whenever my son peed his pants, 2 pairs of pants, like on the same day, so we didn't have a backup pair of pants, so he actually wore this as a toga. It was really cute. We also use this in hotel rooms over the lights because often we were staying in like, you know, kind of like budget hotels and stuff like that. So, or like Airbnbs or actual B&Bs or hostels as they're called in Spain. Not really a hostel, it's more of like a B&B. And sometimes there's like harsh kind of bad lighting. So we would use this to change the lighting and change the atmosphere and just have something a little bit more subtle and relaxing. So another travel essential for me is comfy, the computer just, okay. Comfy black pants that aren't necessarily leggings, although I do travel with leggings as well. So I can wear these, like this would be like the pants that I would change into as soon as we would get home or whatever, just to keep my 1 or 2 pairs of jeans cleaner. And then, so I would wear these at home, but then I could also, you know, go for an early morning walk or jog wearing these. And then if I did feel like wearing them out, some days, like if, you know, if I was like having my period or just feeling kind of like bloated and kind of wanting to be like all schlubby, but not actually look all schlubby, these are just comfortable and breathable and just nice to wear. So sort of multi-purpose everything, right? And then, yeah, just like little scarves I always found were useful. you could just do a lot of stuff with a little scarf. So, like that one. So if you can hear screeching outside, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so in terms of clothing, honestly, that's my basics. It's like the right light jacket, comfy shoes, multi-purpose pants. That was just kind of like an example. Of course, jeans, some shirts. Yeah, a fleece sweater. I wore my like Patagonia fleece sweater all the time. That was like kind of it. Like cool sunglasses. I don't know. It's like for me, it's like when the thing that I feel like people kind of forget is that when they travel, you're not going to be an idealized version of yourself during the trip. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you have this like dazzling dress that you never wear in Wisconsin, you're probably not going to be wearing it in Barcelona either, you know? And like, you know, my husband and I, like, we don't go out to super fancy restaurants on the regular here or like in Montreal or wherever. So we didn't really do that anywhere in Spain or like wherever we travel either. Like, not saying that we didn't go to really good restaurants, but not places where you have to be like dressed to the nines, you know? So if you're not like the type of person who does dress to the nines in real life, then you're probably not really going to on a trip either. And if you do get invited to a wedding, this has happened to me like twice now in Kuwait, where I get invited to a wedding and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wear jeans and my Birkenstocks. I borrow clothes, or it's an excuse to buy something special on your trip, right? So sometimes like these opportunities to buy something special, it's not just because you're out shopping as an activity, but it's like a necessity, and then it becomes, you know, like a memory or whatever. Because I'm not into the going crazy spending money whenever you're traveling long term, because that's all stuff that you need to drag around with you. So you have to keep that in mind. So in terms of work, because of course I work while I travel, this would be my office. This is a cool little tote that actually my step cousins made. They're called Tandem & Co. Sorry, Tandem & Co. I'll show you. And they are in Montreal. It's a little bit of cat fur on it right now. And I just love it. It's so simple. Zip. It's got like little pen holders and stuff inside. And then I travel with a Chromebook. So this is my Toshiba Chromebook. Super lightweight, super slim, $400 Canadian. Like, it's the size of a MacBook Air Pro, Mac Gas, Apple Gas, I don't know, whatever it's called. But it's cheap. And it's like, if this gets stolen, like, I'm not gonna be completely heartbroken. You know, everything just works on Chrome. It's all like Google powered. You just need the internet and you're good to go. You can use some stuff without the internet as well, of course, too, though. And it's just like, I don't know, like this is the second Chromebook that I've had. I don't know why they're not more popular than they are, because I really think that they're a great, great, great alternative to a MacBook. It's such a good alternative to any kind of other laptop where you don't need all the bells and whistles, but you want something where you can work, you can access your Gmail, you can get all of your Google Docs. I swear I don't work for Google. And, you know, watch your Netflix and whatever, and it's got great speakers on it. I highly recommend it. I think it's a really good thing to be traveling with. And so that was my full-on work. Like, that was all I needed for work. And then I travel with a Kindle. I'm big, big, big bookworm. I think on my 5 months we're gone, I read like 25 novels. Like, I read a lot, and I love my Kindle. This is like my entire, you know, it's not my entire library. Like, we have hundreds of books, but like, I just, like, this was my savior, because it was just like, you know, whatever, if I felt like reading something trashy, I could do that. I was getting travel guides, just so easy to access everything that Amazon has. And, you know, just, for me, like, you just can't, this is irreplaceable for me. I think I brought one extra book, like, and I didn't even crack it open because I thought that I would use it as reference, but I didn't even crack it open. So for me, Kindle, big time, most useful thing. An unlocked phone. We always get data plans when we travel. Well, 2 unlocked phones, because me and Adri each have our own so that we can be separate and be able to communicate, meet back up. Super important. What else? Okay, let me see. So also for clothing, yoga bras. Yoga bras were big time my like secret weapon because they look super cute. They're soft and comfortable and supportive, like as supportive as a athletic bra, except for they're just kind of sexier and they do look better under clothes, and they're maybe not quite as supportive, like if you don't have super big boobs, and if you're on the smaller side, you know what I mean, that you don't always want like the most support. You kind of want like medium, and they just wick sweat away just like an athletic bra does, so that's really nice. And then even in a pinch, it can be used as a bathing suit top, so I really love that. So I brought, I think, 2 pairs of yoga bras and about 5 pairs of underwear, and that was kind of it. And then also for clothing, oh yeah, so my theory kind of behind my clothing was everything should be multi-purpose, everything should mix and match with one another, so keeping the color scheme pretty like subdued, and everything needed to be washable. And because I wanted everything to be washable, but I didn't want to be like worrying about doing laundry all the time, of course, I also would highly recommend, and I know there's a lot of green beauties watching this, not to use natural deodorant while you travel. I was using Dove the whole time I was traveling, and it really saved my clothes, to be honest, because I'm not a big fan of natural deodorant. I sort of vacillate between green deodorant and not. But with green deodorant, you know that of course, you're still sweating, so your clothing's getting wet. There's often some staining issues with it, and you do have to wash your clothes a lot more often whenever you're using natural deodorant. So to save myself from having to do that amount of laundry, I did just use conventional deodorant, and I was happy I did. Although now I'm going through that whole detox situation, so that kind of sucks, but I still thought it was worth it just to not have to wash my shirts after every time that I would wear them. So that's just me. Also, in really, really, really hot countries, deodorant doesn't do anything anyways. In Sri Lanka, we were like sweating buckets, and it was like deodorant wasn't going to save me there. So yeah, so for cosmetics, I really recommend that you also pack very minimally for cosmetics. So I love these Ziploc bags. I also use, like decent person cosmetic bags, but I love packing a few of the the big Ziploc freezer bags, because you'll find a million uses for them while you travel. So my favorite product while I travel, this isn't like a pitch or anything, but is, it was the grapefruit version while I was traveling, but then Aurora actually came out of my last trip. It was kind of inspired by different things that I encountered and whatnot, but just really good to have multi-use products. So this is of course a cleanser and a hydrator, and I also just used it for everything while I was gone. And so that was a big time savior. And then a good SPF, and I switched to conventional while I was traveling because the natural SPF that I was using was not lasting throughout the day, but I find that the La Roche-Posay and Thelios Mineral does. I just don't want to be messing around with burning my skin. I actually got sun damage on my last trip, so gotta be super careful. In terms of makeup, I would bring something multi-purpose, like this Vapor Aura multi-use. This is Eros. This came from the last A Beauty Heroes box. Super great because it's cheeks, it's lips, it's eyes, it's whatever you want, which is really nice. And then I would just bring a statement lip. So this is my Ilia Voila, and it's kind of been lately my little signature reddish orange. It's kind of on brand, which is why I like it. It's kind of the same color as my logo. So I really, you know, and then mascara and, you know, whatever, a few other things. I picked up stuff while I was gone too. I consider it market research. But, you know, for example, perfume is one of my favorite things to pick up while traveling. So this was, I got this in Paris. This is L'Artisan Parfumeur. So I picked up a box of 3 scents. And now when I wear these, like, I think of France and I think of Spain. And it's really, really nice. It just reminds me of that trip. Because, of course, you know, we have so many, like, our memory is really tied to scent. So whenever you have a scent that's like specific to a trip, that's just really special. So for me, like, splurging on perfume while you travel is like, that's the best. And along the same lines, I love Papier d'Arménie. This isn't the original scent. I don't know what scent this one's supposed to be honest. I know it's like, it doesn't say on it, but it's a slightly different version of their the original one. And these are just these little pieces of paper that you tear off and then you burn, and it's kind of like a really short incense blast, which I find really nice while traveling because you can just quickly change the atmosphere of a room that you're in just by changing the smell and then the lighting. The scent and the lighting. And you know, when you're traveling with other people in like small hotel rooms and like the bathroom is like hardly separated from like the main room, like sometimes you need these things too, right? So just like a nice thing to have. You can also just like tuck it into like books, and it's a really nice. I don't know if you guys can hear that kid outside. Yeah, so that was like one of my favorite little things. And then now the scent, it like reminds me of travel, which is really, really nice. So, what else are some of my essentials? As you can see, it's like not a lot of stuff, although it's a long video. I have this little piece of paper here that I wrote. These were like little lessons from my trip. Which ones do I want to share? Yeah, okay, so just basically like, you don't need a lot of things. You can go to a grocery store. You can do as the locals do. Like, I think that the greatest thing is not over preparing, because you're going to be putting yourselves in a new environment and in new situations, and you're super smart and you can figure out, you know, how to make do and how to do as, you know, the Romans do. And you know, like, I find as North Americans, like, we love our Costco, we love our stuff, we love, you know, just things and things and things, but like a lot of other cultures, most other cultures aren't like that at all. And it's super refreshing to take a page from their book and try that out. So not to try to like armor yourself with so much stuff, right? You really don't need it, especially not on the airplane. I'm sorry. Oh, one of my tips is guacamole is good on everything. That's true. There's some funny things here. Yeah, and just like, honestly, like in terms of like creature comforts and all of your products and stuff that you feel like you might need, pick up a bar of soap wherever you go. It's also nice to have like a locally made soap. But as long as you have access to a really good shower or a really good bath, like, you're going to feel like $1,000,000. You don't need all of the lotions. You don't need all of the stuff. Like, you don't. Right, Louie? I think I kind of... Oh, yeah. Don't promise people that you're going to bring them back souvenirs, because you got to lug that stuff all over the place. Little kids don't need much. Do groceries. Selfie sticks are ridiculous. I saw someone in Barcelona doing the whole, oh my god, we're in the whatever, I can't remember where, and then boom, just take out a local. And I burst out laughing, because I'm just like, I already thought the person looked ridiculous with their selfie stick, but then they actually just swung it right into someone's face. So use a selfie stick if you must, but don't be that person. Be very aware where you are. Be in the moment. Absorb it. Like, just be present. Don't be with your stuff. You don't have to document it all. You know, don't feel that pressure. Like, just be there. Just be there. Absorb it. And wear comfy shoes. And drink water. I think that's kind of it, you guys. Let's see. Oh, here's the bag that my jacket goes into. Glad I found that. Lots of sunscreen. You know, try local stuff. Learn the language. And have fun. Hopefully that wasn't too bossy and helpful. Okay.